The pour over method is one of the many ways to brew coffee. To make pour over, first thing we need is the Chemex. The Chemex is the original pour over coffee maker and has been around since 1941. We also need a pour over specific filter, kettle, a coffee bean grinder, coffee beans, and a coffee mug. So let's move on to the first step in making pour over coffee. So before anything, we need to boil some water. Typically you would use the kettle on the stovetop. However, I like to use an electronic kettle because it's much faster and much easier to use. So once we have our water boiling, then we need to focus on grinding the coffee beans. It is recommended for a Chemex to grind your coffee beans to a medium to coarse grind. And that is what we will do next. Now that our coffee's ground, we need to get the Chemex ready. That means putting the filter in. Once the filter is in, we need to get it damp with some of our boiling water so it stays in place and also warms up the coffee maker. Now we need to add coffee to our Chemex. So it is recommended for pour over coffee that you use 1 tablespoon per cup of coffee. Now, coffee is measured in 6-ounce cups rather than the regular 8-ounce cups. So today we'll be making 3 cups of coffee, which means we're going to need 3 scoops. Now they say it can be a rounded tablespoon, so don't worry about making it exactly 1 tablespoon. And now that we have our coffee in our Chemex, we are ready to brew. The next step in our process is the bloom. This is where we wet the coffee grounds. When doing this, you want to pour enough water so that all of the grounds get wet and you have an even dispersion of the water. Now this will take 30 to 45 seconds after you first pour the water in. The bloom is supposed to help release all the chemicals in the coffee, giving it the most taste and a good aroma. So let's blow. As you can see, the oils in the coffee have traveled about halfway up the filter. This is about when you know that it's done blooming and it's time to start brewing. Now it's time to add the rest of our water. This is when a gooseneck type of kettle really comes in handy. When pouring into your Chemex, you want to make sure to not pour directly onto the filter. You want to pour directly onto the grounds. You want to start off in a circular motion until it's about halfway filled up and then finish with a straight pour. You can fill it up all the way to the top and then continue filling until you have your desired amount of coffee in the lower half. So let's pour. So once you see it starts to drip less and less, you know you're nearing the end of the brewing process. One of the cool things about a Chemex is that you can watch it the whole time. Now that we're done brewing, we can dispose of our filter with the grounds right in there. And we're ready to serve our coffee. One pro tip I like to use is with the leftover boiling water. I use it to warm up my coffee mug before I pour my coffee in there. Just make sure to pour the water out before you pour your coffee in there. Now that our mug is all warmed up, our coffee's done brewing, it's time to enjoy it. Ooh, just had to make sure my mug warming water was gone. Don't forget to dump it out. to enjoy. Now, some of you may be wondering, where's the cream and sugar? Drinking black coffee, it's way too bitter. Not the case. With pour over coffee method, it completely takes out any bitterness in the coffee, so there's no need for any cream or sugar.